Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
We're recording.
We're recording.
It's happening.
It's actually happening. They said that it would never happen again.
It's true, but it really did. We're back. I can't believe it's been another week. It's one of those weeks where I'm like, so much has happened in the news cycle according to what I've looked up, but it feels like you were just here. It feels like we were,
it feels like we see each other a lot.
We do
almost
see
as
each other
much
a lot.
as we did when we actually lived together.
I know, because it's not like we did much besides, record the videos and like hang out, which is what we do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, and like talk about like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do next?
It makes us
the people want more.
You make us sound really like frightened and nervous.
It's scary. Remember that time our first video went viral of when the Beyonce surprise album dropped?
And
that video like went viral, and it was like the first time a thing of ours went viral, and you were just like, I don't know what to do. I need to go to bed. And like, it's like, no, now's not the time to go to bed.
Well, because that had never happened for us before. And especially like it was going viral on Twitter in a way that was like blowing my phone up, and I was getting a lot of notifications. And
you get push notifications for Twitter?
Yeah. I want to know if someone's talking to me.
I get push notifications for nothing except for text messages and dating apps.
Oh, wow.
Like Hinge and Tinder. And the Discord. If you would like to join.
If you'd like to go to patreon.com/2gaymats, become a Discord member, you'll be giving a push notification.
You'll be blowing up my phone.
I like to know if someone tweets me.
No, never. I like to go, like the people who get it for Instagram, psychopaths.
I get it for Instagram.
No, psychopaths. It's like, I want to like go on Instagram and be like, oh, surprise.
I mean, that is
have a comment.
When you have the TikTok, it's nice because I don't have the push notification for TikTok. And so I'm like, oh, look, some people commented on our like Renaissance.
Yeah, but then like when you go on the app and you see nothing, you're just like, oh.
So I guess there are pros and cons. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the 2 Game Mats podcast. It's Matt Palmer.
And it's Matt Steele.
We're back for another week.
We are. I've got my Carol Channing shirt on.
Oh.
I haven't worn it in a while.
Yes, it's very flesh toned.
I know. Everyone in the, like people in the live chat that we're talking to now, they said, oh, Matt Steele, when I came on, I thought you were shirtless.
Yes, they said it was a jump scare, which is always a good reaction when you wear something and it's frightening.
Yeah, and the eyes are like crooked. They probably thought these were my nipples, and Matt Steele has like crooked nipple situation happening.
Maybe. If they weren't thinking it before, they're certainly thinking
They're certainly thinking it now.
So Matt Steele.
Yes.
How was your week?
It was nice.
Yeah.
So Matt Steele this summer, the restaurant is slow, and Matt Steele had a lot of expenses in the early summer, like, new computer, the year of a new computer.
New phone,
a new
too.
phone. It was the year Matt Steele went on a trip. So like Matt Steele's trying to save his money.
I like that we're doing
for the
third
rest of the
person.
summer.
When
yes,
did
we
this
have to
start?
do it. Matt Steele is trying to save his money this summer. So Matt Steele has done a whole lot of nothing this week. I'm just sitting. I filmed an audition this week where I had to sing opera.
Oh,
I know. It wasn't for an opera role, but it was for a role in a play, and the character has to sing opera like in a funny way, but like still has to be able to make those sounds, and just like for like one line at a time and everything. So in the audition I had to just like sing a little bit so they could see that I could make those sounds.
How did it sound?
It sounded like goofy opera. I can make those sounds and have it sound funny and relatively convincing, but like I don't have the skill set to sing a full song.
I mean, that's a whole thing.
Oh, yeah,
like people go to school for years and years for that.
Yes.
So
And
that'd
so,
be
like-
hard. That's like impossible to ask someone to just do.
Yeah, so I can do like a solid 16 bars, here and there, and have it sound like loud and obnoxious and vibrato-y and everything. And it's like, oh, Matt Steele, he can do that. But get Matt Steele to sing a full song, it's like, oh, Matt Steele does not have that breath control.
All right, we have to stop with a third person. It's driving me insane. Like I realize, we get a little viral on TikTok and someone's ego gets inflated.
The thing is, I didn't even notice that I was still speaking in the third person. It was just like naturally coming out of my body.
I think that's a problem. I think we should focus in on why we're doing that.
I don't think it's a problem because that means that I'm really in it. I'm not judging it. I'm just living it.
I'm judging it. That's the difference. Well, for me, I think my week was also pretty good. I feel like I've been catching up again on sleep because that Beyonce Renaissance video really took a lot out of me. I was off my sleep schedule for a while. I think I'm back. This weekend, I went to Balboa with Jackson and his family. They go on a yearly trip, and I went and drove down after work on Friday, spent the weekend there, and then just drove back up today and took a shower, set up this camera, these lights, this microphone, and now I'm here.
Thank you for showering for me.
Oh.
Because you're sleeveless right now.
I mean,
that could have been dangerous.
I'm a person who showers. Yes. A lot of people are like, oh, I didn't do much today. Like, I'll wait till tomorrow.
Oh, no.
There are people out there like that, which is fine. We don't judge. We don't judge. But for me,
please consider
if you're going to be around people, if you're going to be in close proximity,
even if you're by yourself. Like, if I'm by myself, it's like, oh no, I'm still going to shower.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily always like do my hair every day. If I'm like, there was one day this week I knew I didn't have to go anywhere. I wasn't going to see anyone. I didn't have any auditions to film. I was like, I don't need to do my hair today. I'm just going to put it up in a little band. Those are the best days.
Well, aren't you? From what I hear about shampooing and things, I hear you're not supposed to shampoo every day.
No, I wash every other day.
Oh, well, that seems right.
But like doing the hair, I still like do my hair. Even if I don't wash it, like I still have to wet it and do the product and the hanging upside down as I blow dry it as I'm like looking at the Big Brother feeds. And it's still a process, even if washing is not a part of the process that day.
I just have like a kind of scalp moisturizer that I throw on. And I, of course, do shower and do the shampoo here.
Do you like get your fingernails in it and like scrape your head?
I'm not scraping I'm just like rubbing it in and getting it. I like to touch any part of my skin, including my scalp, with the pads of my fingers, not the nail.
But like with the nail, it's like an exfoliation.
I don't want, but it's also
don't you want a shiny, nice, wrinkle-free head?
Also, there's some hair here, A. B, you also could scratch yourself very easily. Like my nails, they are scratchers. And so let's use the pads.
My nails are scratches.
My nails are scratches. So let's use the pads. I just feel like that's safer. It's more of like a massage to the head.
Okay.
Some shampoo there.
That's nice.
I don't know how we got here, but but we did. Should we dive into the news for idiots?
Let's go into the news for idiots, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. So I feel like this happens, and especially in a pre-Beyonce world, but every other week there's kind of some Britney news that she's posting on her Instagram that, makes me worried, makes me have questions. And now Kevin Federline has given an exclusive interview to the Daily Mail about Britney and her sons. Some of the takeaways are that Britney's sons are not in contact with her right now, or they're not seeing. I don't know if they're not speaking to her, but they're not seeing her right now. K-Fed says the boys have decided they are not seeing Britney right now. It's been a few months since they've seen her. They made the decision to not go to her wedding. There were a lot of things going on in the house with Britney that I didn't feel comfortable with. Essentially, he implies that this is based around the fact that Britney posts like semi-nude photos on her Instagram, and that's hard for them going to school and all of this. But a lot of Britney defenders point out that right now these kids are about to be turning 18. Kevin Federline has been living off of $30,000 a month, I believe, off of child support from Britney Spears since the early aughts. And so it seems like now that these children are becoming of age, that he may be giving more exclusive interviews for money because he needs income of his own. And I'm not in the home. I don't know what's really happening. All I know is that Britney did have a response. She was like, basically like, raising kids is not for the faint of heart. It makes me sad to hear that my ex-husband has decided to discuss the relationship between me and my children. It concerns me the fact that the reason is based on my Instagram. It was long before Instagram. I gave them everything, only one word: hurtful. I'll say it. My mother told me you should give them to their dad. I'm sharing this because I can. Have a good day, folks.
It's so hard. And the thing is, like, okay, I don't know what the situation is like. If her children have reasons for not wanting to live with her, then that's something to be discussed between the people involved.
Exactly.
It is not right for Kevin Federline to be revealing this stuff to the public. Like, that is the mother of your children.
Right.
That is the person who is paying your bills as well.
Right.
But like, also, like, this is something that is a private matter. I don't think it is right for Kevin Federline to address this personal stuff publicly like he's been doing.
And also, it's like, he also goes in and talks about how close of a relationship he has with Jamie Spears and how the conservatorship saved her life, and how they're close with Brian Spears and Jamie Lynn and the mom. And it's like, so basically all of you are in this whole thing together. All of these people who are living off of the work and money of Britney Spears are all in this together and writing your own books and selling your own interviews. It just feels gross.
It feels gross, and it feels like he's trying to like pin Britney's sons more against their mother. And it's like, no, no matter what, if I was Kevin Federline, I'd be like, that is your mother.
Right.
Like, that is your mother. I want you to have a good relationship with your mother. And because Britney adores her sons.
Of course.
And it's heartbreaking that she is going through yet another thing, and that's something that should be very private and personal, and I hope it all gets resolved.
I'm sure it will. I just hope we don't hear more from him or from his wife, or now that the money funnel is getting cut off, at least on that side of the family. I just have a sinking feeling we're going to get a lot more out of K-Fed than we've been getting post Popozão, which was his Portuguese rap song from back in like 2005. So I don't want it. I think we need to leave the past in the past, and no one buy anything from Kevin Federline. We don't, and honestly, the public needs to not engage with this story any further. We all need to leave him in the past, and so it's just sad. It's just sad. Also, supposedly, Britney is working on a revenge album set to be released alongside her upcoming memoir. This is the second report of new music from Britney. I'm excited if it's true, but you never know whether or not it's true. But I wonder what that music would sound like. She had a shelved album entitled Original Doll back in like post. I think it was the album that Mona Lisa was on, and it was like kind of in the chaotic era, and it was post In the Zone, pre-Blackout. And so maybe these kind of songs that were like more full voice from her, a little edgier, a little like I'm speaking my truth. It was kind of like Britney's current Instagram post set to music. And so if that's what she's giving us, I'm willing to listen.
I mean, hey, if they're bops, let's go. Like, let's go.
I mean, what's going to be more of a bop, the Revenge album or the Tiny Dancer cover remix Elton John, which again, all of this is supposed. I would love to get a release date on that.
Yeah.
You know? And since this is our podcast and this is all we've been talking about for the past 3 weeks, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about all the people that are now angry with Beyonce after she released the like happiest album of her career. Let's start with Kelis. So Kelis, I guess, heard about the fact that Beyonce was sampling her on Renaissance like a day or two before the album dropped. Beyonce sampled very lightly a part of Milkshake, which was written by Pharrell and Chad Hugo of the Neptunes and written for Britney Spears, but given to Kelis. And Kelis was pissed because she argues that she wrote that song and Pharrell stole her publishing, and Beyonce didn't give her a heads up because she's not a feminist and she has all these pro-girl songs, and she didn't call Kelis that she should have, and also said something about Beyonce being a Satanist and all of these TikToks and things.
I didn't get too deep into the everything.
It just feels like, also when you heard the background that was being referred to, it was like Beyonce singing La 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 in a different melody than what's on Milkshake. And it's like, this was barely even an interpolation. Like, you did not need to get credited or mentioned at all.
But guess what you did? You got credited.
Yes, you did, until you made a whole thing about it. And then Beyonce took it out.
I mean, I love how Beyonce just quietly just like, okay, well,
if that's what we're going to do.
If she's angry with me, I guess we're not collaborators anymore.
Right. And there's no need for me to give her a shout out. So I'm glad I have that Renaissance CD. So I have the original version of Energy with the Lalas in the background because they were cool and didn't even sound that much like Milkshake. Person number 2, mad at Beyonce, Monica Lewinsky. She feels that now that Beyonce has the ability to remove things from her albums, like the La La sample of Milkshake from Renaissance, why doesn't she remove the Lewinsky reference, the Monica Lewinsky reference from Partition, which came out almost 10 years ago now.
Because it's a fucking iconic line.
It is a good line.
And also, like, Monica Lewinsky in her Twitter bio, like, talked about it. Like,
oh, did she?
Yeah, she said, like, inspiration for, like,
Partition?
For, like a hip hop songs or something like that. And so it's kind of like, well, Monica, like, you were bragging about it back then, which of course, like, Monica does have the prerogative to change how she feels about her being mentioned and everything.
Right. But it also is like, I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of people that Monica Lewinsky should be mad at. You know, I'm not arguing that she was in a position of power, obviously, in this whole scandal that occurred back in the day. But I feel like Bill Clinton would be a better, point for the anger than Beyonce. Like,
or just like the media, because how the media treated her was very rough and everything.
It doesn't feel like Beyonce is the problem.
Yeah, I don't think that's the battle.
Yeah,
that is really worth it.
I didn't watch the Beanie Feldstein American Crime Story with Monica Lewinsky, but if Beyonce was the big bad guy in that series, let me know below. But I really didn't think it was her. I feel like there were more things at play. Another person mad in the world of Beyonce, Diane Warren. Diane Warren unfortunately gets online sometimes and says things like, how can there be 24 writers on a song, and then with like an eye roll emoji. And she says it wasn't meant as shade. I'm just curious. And it's like, you're clearly referring to Beyonce. You're clearly referring to the album. The Dream, one of Beyonce's frequent collaborators on Renaissance, responded and was like, hey, actually, it's because hip hop samples older songs. This was done because back in the day, they didn't have access to make their own music, whatever. And Diane Warren's tweet response was like, oh, I didn't know that, but you didn't have to be so mean about it.
Well, the Dream at the end of that tweet did say like, you good or something like that. And it was kind of like, okay.
But Diane also just like, no one asked you. You really just didn't have to comment.
You know, I have notes for both sides of the aisle here. Diane Warren, I have to say, be careful because Beyonce is happily taking things out of her albums and everything, like the Kelis sample, and she removed the offensive word.
Yes.
Also this week as well.
Yes.
You know what else could very well be on the chopping block? I Was Here from 4.
Because honestly, sweets, it's bad. And so if Beyonce wanted to remove that from streaming, she could. And I wouldn't push my luck. If I was a past Beyonce collaborator, I would just sit and stay quiet.
Exactly, yes. And get those streams, Diane. But also to the Beehive. The thing is, the Beehive, they are very, very good at providing all the receipts and for, going to battle for Beyonce, as they should and everything. But the main argument that they are using against Diane to insult her is, ooh, you can't even win an Oscar. When she has the same amount of Oscars as Beyonce. So I am team you, Beehive, but I don't think that is the best argument to really go after Diane Warren with.
That's harsh, babe. That's harsh.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I hear you, and I did think it was a funny response when Diane responded to one of those tweets being like, yeah, but I've got 13 nominations. What do you have? And she's like, well, the same number of wins as you. And like, that's a very good response, but I hear your point as well.
Well, because the thing is, like, I'm enjoying this battle.
Of course.
On social media. Because, it's very harmless and lighthearted and everything. But I have notes for how both sides can improve their battling skills.
All right. I think that's fair. And I think we have one more person to mention as people that are mad at Beyonce in the current era. And that person is me, Matt Palmer. I love this woman. I've spent the weeks referring to Renaissance as an incredible piece of art. You've seen all our shit about Renaissance. We talk about her every fucking week now. Beyonce released a remix of Break My Soul, which we're saying is a duet with Madonna, but truly she just sampled Vogue. Madonna's vocals from Vogue back in the day are included. It's a fun remix, but kind of thrown together, but like fun. Beyonce talks over it. It's very fun. We love. Beyonce then, at the bridge of the song, basically, if you know Vogue by Madonna, she like shouts out all these old school movie stars and film stars, and Beyonce replaces that and does a little rap about all of the Black musicians that paved the way for her. And that are also in her echelon, like people that are around. I could give you a long, long list of all of the people that are referenced here. It includes, great artists like Janet Jackson, Toni Braxton, people in her year like Rihanna and Nicki Minaj. She talks about Whitney. She talks about everybody. Donna Summer. She talks about Tierra Whack. Like, she talks about people that, like, no shade, but, like, are smaller deals. Like, a lot of people. And I just feel there is no excuse for Mariah Carey not to be mentioned in this. I feel like a lot of the lambs are taking this some kind of way just because they are friends. They have pictures together. Every sort of Rock Nation brunch, there are pictures of Mariah Carey with Beyonce, and someone is in the comments saying Mariah Carey isn't Black, though. Well, Alicia Keys has mentioned she's as Black as Alicia Keys, because Alicia Keys is also a mixed race person. I get that Mariah does not appear as Black as Alicia Keys, sure, whatever. But to not credit the icon, the legend, the vocalist, the person that she has said on record has inspired her to sing in the first place feels like an obvious oversight. Mariah ran the 90s, ran 05, and every single dance mix, which, she's referencing, was fucking Mariah re-singing those vocals. She did so much for house music in that decade. It feels like a very big oversight that hurt my feelings as a lamb. Matt Steele, how do you feel?
I guess if you are feeling some kind of way,
yes.
I hope Mariah doesn't feel I hope Mariah's just like, oh, well, maybe I just didn't fit in rhythmically in the music. Maybe they tried putting me in. My puzzle piece just didn't fit in musically. I don't know.
She says Grace Jones twice. She could have, instead of saying Grace Jones the second time, say Mariah Owns. I've thought this through.
those are a different number of syllables.
She could have made it work. Honestly, the remix is fun, but kind of thrown together. We don't need to be syllabically on it. every moment. I just am hurt.
Okay.
I know she's a fan. She's like, Mariah's one of the 9 people Beyonce follows on Twitter. Beyonce and Mariah have like referenced each other literally for decades and how much they love each other. I just feel that I'm sick of having the argument about Mariah's blackness this late in the game. And because her impact is undeniable, what she's done for music, what she's inspired, she's paved the way for so many people. It just felt like the most obvious oversight of the people that, like, she should have said Tina Turner too, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
But those two to me are the most obvious oversights here. And I get it. I'm just being sensitive. But I love both of these artists so much.
It's okay.
We'll get over it.
It's okay. My number one, Carol Channing, was also not mentioned. And Carol Channing is a quarter black.
That is true.
So
okay.
I feel your pain here. Our divas were scorned by Beyonce this week.
How was yours? For the same...
Okay, well, okay, maybe not.
I think we're,
I
think it's a bit of a stretch.
I'm trying to relate to your anger.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I do.
I'm trying to reach out to you.
And I'm taking your hand.
We are one. We are one.
We are the world. It's true. And I will get over it, but I just have to get that off my chest.
It's okay.
Because it hurt me.
We're all feeling the same pain here at 2
You know, we're feeling emotions. Number 1 hit. 5th in a row.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Lady Gaga has been confirmed for Joker 2. Joker... Folie à deux.
Folie à deux.
So the rumor that was going around that Joker 2 was going to be a musical that was co-starring Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga has proven to be true, as Lady Gaga has confirmed it. She tweeted out the date, saying that on October 4th, 2024, we will be seeing this film. And I feel like there are people out there excited about this. I'm not one, but I'm excited for all of you.
I'm very excited. I think it'll be fun and insane and ridiculous. And as I said, when it was rumored, I was like, I hope this inspires her to make some batshit crazy music.
Yes.
Put out an insane album of just crazy sounds and her just sounding like a murderer. Like, I would love that.
I also am just, people already are saying in the comments, the media surrounding this film, it's like her interviews, her quotes are going to be insane. How she's going to be like, I met with a mass murderer to study for this. It's just like, God, I just am already tired, I guess, is my feeling.
I mean, the fact that even for just like something as simple as House of Gucci, she was just like, I spoke in an Italian accent for months afterwards. I felt like I was drunk off of the prop wine that was just water with food coloring.
Didn't you all feel that way?
Don't all actresses feel that way? And all the other actresses are just like, I am also very excited because it's confirmed that this is coming in 2024 and it is not conflicting with The Color Purple in 2023, which means that Gaga and Fantasia will not be competing against each other for the Oscar.
I love that was the biggest worry for you.
Oh, that's all I care about. I want no other movie to come out in 2023 because I'm just like, we need no competition for Fantasia for leading actress.
When does Wicked come out?
Who knows? I think Wicked is 2024. I think Wicked Part 1, I think, is 2024.
Okay.
Supposedly. It's supposed to start shooting and rehearsing in August
and that hasn't happened?
I don't know if it's happened. A cast has still yet to be announced. So we don't know what's happening with the Wicked movie. It was originally supposed to come out in December 2019. But we all remember that was the day that Cats ended up coming out.
We have the stars of the film. They have been cast.
Yes.
That's something.
Yes.
All right. This I just want to mention because I think it's so incredibly fucked up. And I feel like I've heard there's going to be some sort of prisoner swap, but WNBA star Brittney Griner was convicted and sentenced to 9 years for drug offenses. She is a person that plays in the WNBA, but because of pay gaps, also travels and plays professional basketball in Russia, where she's very successful in the European basketball court. Her luggage was found to be carrying a vape with medical marijuana. So she is a person who needs this for chronic pain that she has. And she has been in jail since February and was sentenced to 9 years, which is just beyond fucking insane. Everyone needs to be involved. I feel like if this was a male athlete, like an NBA star, everyone would be talking about this. It's just crazy. And I hear that there might be a prisoner swap thing happening where there's a Russian prisoner in the US that could be swapped for Brittney Griner. But it's it shouldn't even have been doing all of this. This woman did so little. It seems like she should get a slap on the wrist. I understand the laws are different over there, but my God, she was medically prescribed this. It just makes me sick, and I feel awful for her wife and it's just very sad.
Yeah, well, I mean, Russia's nuts and Putin is a monster, and a lot of people are thinking that they gave her such a harsh sentence just because they're basically holding her hostage because of how America cut Russia off completely because of obviously the horrible things that they're doing with Ukraine and everything.
Totally.
And so it's just absolutely disgusting, and I'm just hoping that anything can be done.
Oh, it's just so sickening. I just hate that I really wanted it to just already be over now, much like the Russia-Ukraine of it all, but that is still all going on because Russia's a piece of shit. News for you, because now you can get back on the apps. But if you're on Raya, you'll be swiping. You may see Pete Davidson pop up back again. Because Kim,
you think my ass has got invited to Raya yet?
Not yet, but soon.
Soon, it's coming.
We'll keep posting those TikToks. They'll be like, hey, Matt Steele, we need you on Raya. Pete Davidson would be perfect for you. After 9 months of dating, the couple has broken up. Okay.
I hope everyone got what they needed to get out of the relationship.
Hello?
I hope it was an amiable separation. And I just have to say, this is the moment.
This is the moment.
Damn all the odds.
The moment for what? Oh, for you and Pete.
Well, for me to get, my student loans paid off when Pete Davidson becomes my boyfriend.
I think we could find someone else for you.
It would be.
Really
He would be a guest on the podcast. Oh, imagine how many views those TikToks would get.
Oh,
This is all good things. Matt Steele dating Pete Davidson. Nothing but good can come out
except
of it.
I'll be grimacing the whole time. He'll be on camera with us, and I'm not a good actor. My face will show.
Here's the thing. My reason for why I should go on a date with Pete Davidson is A, because I love a free dinner, and B, because I don't know, he's dated all of these gorgeous, amazing, talented women.
Yes.
And so clearly he must be an insanely fun boyfriend to have. And Matt Steele needs some insanely fun people in his life.
Yeah. You have me. I'm fun.
But you have a boyfriend you're having
yes.
fun with, and Matt Steele's just, by himself watching season 12 of Survivor.
I'd like it to be noted that we're still using third person. And it's been a while, and I wanted it to stop. I really did. So
it just creeps back up in there, baby.
Really, so it creeps. Yeah. Batgirl shelved.
That's devastating.
I don't understand it. They filmed the whole movie?
Yes, and started in post-production and everything, and I guess they figured it's not good, we're gonna shelve it. And it's just really, can it be any worse than some other of the trillions of superhero films
Honestly.
that have not gotten good reviews? Come on, I can't imagine it being a huge bomb box office wise. Michael Keaton was coming back as Batman. People I would have seen that. I'm a giant Michael Keaton stan. I think he's the greatest film actor ever. I would have seen that shit. And I know nothing about DC.
Was it supposed to be going to HBO Max? Because I know there was this whole thing earlier in the week about how HBO Max was going to be mixing with Discovery Plus, and so people were worried about their favorite comedies and dramas on HBO Max going away. But
I'm worried about Degrassi.
Oh, have they started filming it?
Yes.
Oh, but I guess that doesn't matter now with Batgirl.
I know. That's a thing.
Look.
And with Batgirl, I just feel so bad for Leslie Grace.
You know what I'm saying? We need the other two, season 3. I hate that in between every season of the other two, something fucking horrible happens. This is when it moved from Comedy Central to HBO Max. Then it got shut down because of COVID. And now right as they've gotten a very quick season 3 renewal, this whole HBO Max shit is happening. It's crazy.
I mean, show business is rough, baby.
I guess you chose a bad place.
Listen, as if I'm in there.
You're in there.
Lord, I wish I was at the place. That is bad.
Hey, you have a film. Hello.
I know, and I'm singing opera in auditions.
It's true.
That's how you get to the place.
Well,
fake opera.
They're now saying that in the short term, nothing's getting taken off of HBO Max, or none of the HBO Max originals are getting canceled that have been renewed. So hopefully they keep their word with that, but I don't know.
Girl, Degrassi better be there.
I mean, we're hopeful.
I need Degrassi. But yeah, to go back to Batgirl, I feel bad for Leslie Grace. She's such a talented girl. She was great in The Heights, and I'm sure she saw this as such an insanely huge opportunity.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure she worked her ass off and kicked her ass into shape doing some whatever stunts she had to do. I'm sure she did some of her own, I don't know, maybe some cartwheels.
Right.
but I'm sure the really hard stuff maybe someone else did. But
totally.
I'm sure she worked really hard for it and everything.
Absolutely.
And my King Michael, he was probably so excited to get back into that bat suit, and I was excited for him.
Carly Rae's coming back, and
we
happier
love
news.
Carly Rae.
The Loneliest Time is coming October 21st. We're excited about it. The cover is Western Wind-esque, seems in the same shoot.
Yes, neutrals.
It's
like a Thanksgiving meal.
Yes, an interesting font for The Loneliest Time. I will say, I'm not the biggest fan of the newest pre-release track she put out, and I'm not the hugest fan of Western Wind.
I think the new song Beach House is very fun.
I think it's a little embarrassing, but I'm open to hearing more from her. And the thing is, tell us how you feel about us doing a listening party thing for Carly Rae's album, because I just don't think it'd be fun. Me being like, at least, that was bad. I don't think Carly Rae fans want to hear that from us when they're listening to an album for the first time live, but it would be fun to do. I just am concerned.
I'm sure there are some gems on there.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a little bit more news, but I don't know if there's anything gigantic. Is there anything else you would like to tell the people?
I personally cannot think of a one. Okay. Matt Steele's dry, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I saw that Dane Cook is getting engaged to his girlfriend. Dane Cook is 50. His girlfriend is 23.
Saw that.
And they met when she was 17.
Saw that.
I guess congratulations to the happy couple. It reminds me of a clip of a new Demi Lovato song that I've heard in which she's talking about when she would date Wilmer Valderrama. I believe it's called 29, and she references how she was 17 and he was 29 when they began dating, and he didn't have much of a problem with it. And now she's looking back now that she's 29 and expressing her feelings. So I can't wait to hear all of that.
And she's just like, holy fuck.
Yes, she/they is holy fuck. And when we do that reaction review thing, you got to say holy fuck. I can't hear from fuck for an hour.
Wow.
I just want to draw some lines in the sand.
He's stifling my art.
I don't know if I'm stifling. I'm just giving feedback.
I can't help it if that's the way it's spelled, and I'm just reading.
You are just reading. So sorry. Is there anything else you'd like to tell the people?
I don't think so. I think it's time for a break.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with more 2 Gay Mats, the podcast.
All right, guys.
We're back.
This half of the podcast is going to be a little messy.
Nothing like letting the people know that it's going to be a mess. So just buckle up.
It's still going to be really, really fun.
Yes.
All right, guys. So the reason why is because we got a bunch of emails about stuff that we don't necessarily know a lot about. But also we got one email that we can answer.
Okay.
So this is Email My Heart. This is the section of the podcast where we answer any questions you guys might have. You can be a part of Email My Heart if you email us at 2gaymats@gmail.com, 2 spelled TWO, or if you would like to ask us a question by commenting on this YouTube video. If you are consuming this podcast on YouTube, you can do that as well. So the first question, we will say it comes to us from Vinny. Vinny just sent us this question. Problematique. Email My Heart. Literally writing this email while listening to the podcast. Yes. Thank you, Vinny. Not sure if either of you guys are fans of Kim Petras' catalog. I won't judge if not. The Dr. Luke connection is tough to swallow, but her leaks are all I've been listening to this week. That isn't by Beyonce, of course. The leaks have awoken my fascination about unreleased, scrapped projects. Is there any album/era that was canceled that you guys would still like to listen to? Thank you for the podcast. It is truly one of the brightest spots of my week.
Oh, thank you so much, Vinny. You're so kind. I don't know if completely canceled. Well, I would like to listen to, because we were talking, I think before the podcast started recording, we were talking about Britney's album era, Original Doll, which was going to feature songs like Mona Lisa and Chaotic, which I think there's a Chaotic EP out there, which has some kind of more polished versions of these songs. So hearing all of those songs like Rebellion, I feel like there's a lot of lore around them. So even if they would not have been my favorites, I would have loved to listen to them. There was also a rumor before Butterfly really got going that Mariah was going to make it kind of a dance record, and that the Butterfly interlude was going to be kind of like the sound she was going to build off of.
I didn't know this.
That is a rumor that maybe is unsubstantiated, but I would love to have heard, even though, of course, Butterfly is perfect the way it is, Butterfly 25 upcoming, but I would have loved to hear Mariah. I feel like it's never too late for Mariah to do a dance record. I feel like she did so much in the 90s for dance music, and her remixes, and the gays all love to dance, and the gays are the ones that are buying her albums. So that would have been lovely. I also feel like there was a time when R&B music was getting back from being very poppy in the early aughts to going back to being kind of more R&B again. Okay. And Monica had a song on, I believe, the Down to Earth soundtrack called Just Another Girl. And she also had a song called All Eyes on Me, which sampled PYT by Michael Jackson. And they both were kind of like Monica going in a Janet kind of direction. And Usher had a song at the time called Poppy Kala, which I believe went #1 in the UK. And he had a whole album where every song title had the word you in it. And it was going to be called All About You. Mm-hmm. And those two albums got rejiggered and became the album that So Gone is on for Monica, and the album that You Remind Me, and it's, I think, 8701 by Usher. So I would have loved to hear what the more pop versions of those albums would have sounded like.
Okay.
I'm just, and I feel like that happens a lot. When Ariana puts out Focus, I'm sure there are other Focus-esque tracks that would have fit on that album, but then we get Dangerous Woman and all is well.
Do you think one day Normani's album will be on this list of albums that never came out that you are desperate to listen to?
I believe she will release an album someday.
Okay, someday.
That's what I believe.
That album is somewhere. It's in the ether.
It's somewhere in the world. I would love to hear it.
I know nothing about like albums that have never been released.
Yeah.
I mean, I know about musicals that like were supposed to come to Broadway but never did. I mean, there's like Rebecca, which is based off of the Alfred Hitchcock film. That was for years they've been working on Rebecca. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And then like last minute, it never came to Broadway.
Wow.
So that's like always something that it's like a lore that people talk about now, a recent lore that people talk about now. And the other one, is Square One by Stephen Sondheim, which never came to fruition because he died while he was writing it. And so that's something I would give anything to hear what that music sounded like.
Do you think someone's going to try to come in and finish it, or would that just be like, don't touch Sondheim shit?
I don't know. It depends on, what's the other playwright he was working with on it? It depends on what the other playwright wants to do, maybe. I'm sure there was some sort of clause or something when they were working on it where he either said like, if I die, none of this can be released. I don't know, but I would love to just like hear it. Like, there's got to be a tape that's got to leak. Like,
right.
Come on.
I also started just thinking of B-sides that I feel like should have been released, and I would love to hear like a final version of. There's a song by Kelly Clarkson called "Don't," which she performed at a couple of concerts before Breakaway came out, which I've always really loved. And also, Janet Jackson went in with Rich Harrison, the guy who did Deja Vu and Crazy in Love back in the early aughts. And there are a couple of songs that leaked, and they are all very good. And I'm like, why have we not gotten a full Rich Harrison Janet collaboration album? Like, what happened to these songs? I'll have to look up some of the names because I've forgotten them. But Rich Harrison and Janet were a good team. Pops Up was one of the songs.
Okay.
And it was great. It was very sexual. It was like, when I sit on your lap.
Some shocker.
When I sit on your lap, something pops up. A little tongue in cheek.
Cute.
But a very cute song, and you should look it up because it's great.
Okay.
All right.
We got some other emails about stuff that we don't really know much about. We got an email from Claudio, who's emailed us before saying that Renaissance is his an amazing album. It's only his second favorite album of the year because his favorite is the Rosalia album called Motomami. So he's saying that we should listen to it. I have to say we don't know Rosalia's music, but when she performed on the Grammy Awards, was it like a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
We were both like, this is the best performance of the night. It was
my God.
Megan Thee Stallion and Rosalia were like the two best of the night. We were very impressed by Rosalia.
I think I listened to it like in transit one time. Like I think I was driving to the West Side and threw it on. And it is great from what I remember, but I haven't done a deep dive.
Oh, Motomami?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've not done a deep dive on the album, but it was getting such incredible reviews that I was like, I have to hear what's going on here.
She's very talented. Everything I've seen of her. So I'll have to check the album out. We got 2 questions about Shea Coulee, the drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race. Brittany emailed us, "Hi, adorable Mats. I've been watching your videos for so long that gun to my head, I couldn't tell you when I started.
Aww.
But I also can't recall you ever talking about RuPaul's Drag Race. Do you watch? I have to ask because my queen Shea Coulee has recently put out 2 absolute bops, and I'm over the moon that we are getting legit good pop music from a former contestant. She also looks incredible in the music video." And another email from, hold on, let me scroll up, from Nicholas saying that Shea Coulee has been cast in the Disney Plus series Iron Heart as Dark Veil, an actual Marvel comic book character that was modeled after her. This is a huge step, and I'm excited to see how she does. I mean, congrats to Shea Coulee,
honestly,
who's having a great year. I mean, I listened to the 2 songs that Brittany sent us, and they were really great.
I love that.
They were too short, though.
I mean, it's 2022. People love a short song.
I know, but they were too short, and they were all condensed in one YouTube video.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, but like they were really fantastic. And another thing we can't really comment on because we hadn't seen it, but Kathleen saw Beanie Feldstein's final performance of Funny Girl. Said it's. That my friend and I went to see Beanie Feldstein's final performance in Funny Girl on July 31st. Beanie has been undeservedly humiliated through this whole debacle, and I wanted to be there as a fan to show my support. It seems like a lot of people felt that way. The place was packed, and as soon as Beanie stepped on stage, the crowd went nuts. Beanie was wonderful. She is Fanny Bryce, brought so much charm and true comedic chops and vulnerability to the role. As Fanny, Beanie played an underdog who you wanted to root for, and after seeing her in this role, I understand why producers cast her in the first place.
And I love that. I feel like we, are only going off of what we hear. We are not, gleeks, and we're not beanie heads or whatever. So we're just hearing what the people are saying about the performance. And so I heard that she got a lot of love in her final performance, and I'm so happy about that. And I hope that she moves on and does bigger and better things and can leave this all behind. You know?
Exactly, yes. And Kathleen went on to say stuff about how her voice sounds sweet and lovely, and she brought her to tears during People, and it's not a fair, what is being said about her voice is not fair or accurate, and how just an email saying that just because like someone is interpreting a role differently does not mean give it less value and everything, which I am fully in agreement on.
Yes.
Like as someone who I guess does not have what's considered a great pop voice for like pop musical theater right now, I fully agree with that wholeheartedly. And I think I love seeing different people's interpretations of different roles.
Absolutely.
So I have no doubt that Beanie brought a lot to the role that was not there before by other actresses who might have been cast like just because like, wow, they had those powerhouse vocals.
Right.
But I mean, we can't really comment much on it because we didn't see her. We didn't see her.
We didn't. And
but we do like Beanie.
Also to clarify, we do not watch RuPaul's Drag Race. He's a Big Brother gay. I'm a Housewives gay. But we've been thinking maybe at some point in the future we'll do some like patron only videos of us, watching and reviewing some Drag Race episodes or seasons. So if you're interested in that, let us know. Because I feel like all the people that really love us really love Drag Race. So it feels like it seems like a good fit.
Sure. My problem with it though is like you're such a completist. I'm such a completist, and I would have to start from season 1.
I'm not doing that.
Especially now because like all the drag queens, it's all just all stars every season, so they all come back. I need to know their history, their relationships with each other prior. Like
I will jump in. I hear the latest All Stars season's amazing. I will jump in and watch the latest All Stars and then pick and choose what I want to watch. If anyone has the right order that I should be watching, let us know. I'm open to that. I don't need to start at the beginning, especially because I saw that some of the beginning stuff was just a little low budget, no shade, but I would like to see it at its peak,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. But like, I don't know. I love the whole history, the journey of all of these queens and everything.
Michael Smith is saying season 6 might be a good place to start.
I heard season 6 is very good.
All right. We love that.
Also, my favorite season of Big Brother, ladies and gentlemen.
So Matt Steele,
yes?
Do you have any giving you moments this week?
I have like little things that have been giving me moments.
That's great.
First of all, I keep listening to Renaissance. It just gets better and better.
Honestly.
This season of Big Brother is excellent. I love it. Started season 3 of Big Brother Canada. It's great. Just like other small things in terms of like the grand scheme of the world and everything. The Inflation Reduction Act passed the Senate. Like, and just so many good things have happened in the government this week.
Right.
That it's just like, good things are happening. We are getting like good agreement on stuff. We are getting successes and everything, and that is encouraging people to vote in November.
And it's one of those things that's like you get so used to the bad news, know, because when those Supreme Court rulings were coming out, it was just like getting punched in the face day after day. And so when something good happens, we need to take it in.
Yes, and it's just like, the system is doing well this week.
I know, in this very moment. And I agree. It's just, and even though it's fucked up that the insulin thing had to be taken out.
I know.
Which is just beyond fucked up. Why would you want, whatever, care about your citizens? But there's a lot of good things that happened.
Vote in November.
Vote in November.
Vote for Democrats in November. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Also, just, I have to say, like, as far as
and the Kansas vote, sorry.
And the Kansas vote.
That was so nice.
Voting works, people.
It's like, you get so blinded by what the people in power are doing, like the officials who are either elected or placed on the Supreme Court, that you forget that even the people in their party don't agree with this fucking anti-woman shit.
Yes, Kansas, which is a super red state, went out and they voted, I guess it was no on the
constitutional amendment.
Yeah, yes. And therefore, abortion is still legal in Kansas. And so that's amazing that people can band together and vote on something and be like, this is what we think, this is fucked up, and we are not going to fucking stand for it. Everyone, please check your registration.
Yes.
Also, as far as Two Gay Mats goes, like, there's just like really exciting things happening, and I'm just excited for them. I feel like after the whole Beyonce listening party, it feels like there's some momentum behind this a little bit. And it makes me feel kind of good that like we work really hard, and Matt Palmer especially has been working very hard the past several weeks and everything, because Matt Steele has been busy and is not as technology sound as Matt Palmer is. And so Matt Palmer's really taken the reins. So thank you, Matt Palmer.
Yes.
But yeah, I feel like lots of good things are happening for 2K Mats, and it's really a bright spot.
Absolutely. So if you're new here as a listener, a viewer, whatever, welcome. And I hope you enjoy it. We've been doing this for a long time, and we're going to be doing it for a long time. Grace requested we do it from a retirement home, and like however long that takes for us to get there. So stay tuned. It might happen. You never know.
I did reveal my age in the live chat before we started the podcast.
Right.
So
he wouldn't do it on record.
I'm not doing it on record. There will be no waveforms on this computer screen in front of me that has the words 19 on it.
Well, I love that for you.
I mean, you can just go to my IMDb and
I know it's right there.
It's right there.
It's right there. Well, for me, I guess I agree with you on the 2K Mats front. It's been nice to get some momentum. We're just uploading some clips to TikTok that people seem to really like. It just feels good to get the ball rolling. We have been doing this for a long, long time. It also was very fun to go to that beach I went to, just going to, it's just nice when you really get to unplug for a minute and go just even a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And like, I slept so much over the course of just like the 2 days I was there.
Oh yeah, how's your sleeping?
It's getting much better. I feel like I won't need the Wall Sleep Z, which I had been using a little bit. And so I don't want to get addicted. And so after this, I plan on editing this, uploading it, maybe catching up on some Bravo. And honestly, for the like 8 people that watch Bravo that also listen to this, Married to Medicine has never been bad. What a great television show. And there was an episode, I think not last week's, but the week prior to, where there's a cast member named Dr. Heavenly who basically does an after show of the show on her.
Dr. Heavenly.
Yes, it's about doctors and doctors' wives. And like, that's the social group that like is around. And so Dr. Heavenly's a dentist and her last name's Heavenly.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she basically has a YouTube channel in which she talks about the show, like an after show that's on YouTube, which like Candy does for Atlanta. Like, it's not that bad, but she's very shady and very mean about the rest of the cast. And this girl who'd been her friend for such a long time, last season, this girl Contessa, who's also a doctor, she and her husband were having a lot of troubles that did play out on the show in Heavenly's defense. But then Heavenly would have her after show and like talk a lot about it because that was what the episodes are focused on. And she's like, is Contessa in an abusive relationship? I think so. And so Contessa, who was a friend of Heavenly's, got a little offended and basically invited all the women to go to the movie theater in her home and had cut together clips of Heavenly's like YouTube in which she's talking all this shit about all the other women in the group.
Of course.
And she's basically like, didn't tell anyone what she's going to play. It's like, I thought we'd have a movie night. Let's all watch it. She presses play on it. And it's like a YouTube compilation of Heavenly. Heavenly's response, uproarious laughter. She's like, that's funny. What I just said was really fucking funny. And the girl Contessa is so upset. She's screaming. She's crying. They go to the hallway and crying. It's like, you were my friend. And the thing is, okay, is Heavenly in the wrong about like a little bit like using Contessa's marriage falling apart for clickbait? Sure. But Heavenly's point, which I agree with, Contessa said everything about this publicly on a television show. People are already watching. You know what I mean? So I feel like Heavenly doesn't have a lot of fans these days, but I'm like, I get her point of view a little bit. The fact
that her name is Heavenly,
it's great.
Like, is just incredible. It's not even her first name.
No.
It's like, this was just a name that
actually it might be Dr. Heavenly Kimes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, Heavenly Kimes.
Yeah.
That's okay. Since it's a first name, like that makes more sense to me because someone was like, I'm gonna name my child Heavenly. Like if someone would name their child, like, Matthew means gift of God.
Yes. So like, we are two gifts, darling. We are Lion King the gifts over here.
When people are always like, oh, what a crazy name, I'm always like, well, that like every name once started, like even like biblical names like started as like a word that meant something.
True.
So I'm defending the first name Heavenly.
And
the last name Heavenly is a little funny.
I'm defending Dr. Heavenly. I'm just and also I just appreciate this show has been on for like maybe 10 years, and so many of the Bravo shows at the 10-year mark get really fucking bad. And this show is consistently excellent. If you care about Bravo or reality TV at all, I recommend Married to Medicine. It's an underrated fave of mine.
Okay.
All right.
Well, also, I guess the people want to know. Drum roll, climax. Because you said you were going to reveal on the podcast.
What?
What's happening to the money from, what's it called, that website, for your table?
Oh, from the table from
Wayfair.
Wayfair. Yes. Okay. Well, what happened was
I was about to say Waverly.
No, Wayfair. If you listened last week, there was a poll as to whether I should keep the money that they were going to accidentally send me. Luckily, we don't have to worry about that because they have not sent me any money. I'm going to give them a couple of days, and if they do not send me $715, which is more than I need, I will email them and say, hey, I still haven't received this, and this is the real amount that I need. Yes. So, because I feel like reaching out to them and saying a lie would be different than just accepting a lie.
I still haven't received my $200 and something.
Yes.
And then just hoping, fingers crossed, that suddenly 700 whatever is deposited into your account. So I think that is an excellent solution.
Okay.
Because you are still being honest.
Yes.
And then if they just happen to give you a happy bonus.
Exactly. And the thing is, if they give me a happy bonus before Wednesday, I'm not saying shit. Okay. I'm not saying shit. Okay. So that's the next step in the Wayfair drama. I will say everyone in the chat and everyone emailed me. People were texting me. They're like, do not give that money back. I will say it was very unpopular, the Jackson and old school Matt Steele side, because new school Matt Steele would never give that money back. Never.
Exactly.
All right. Is there anything else we have to tell the people?
I don't think so.
Guys.
The chat was so much fun today. We were talking for a while before we started the podcast.
It's true. We had a lot to say.
Yeah, we had a lot to say. I found out the 3 astrological signs.
Oh yeah, what are they?
I apparently, according to someone who did their research, this is why I gave the year away.
Mm-hmm.
I am a Gemini, obviously, but I am a Virgo moon and a Sagittarius rising.
All
so
right.
do with that as you will, America. Pete Davidson, if you are listening, see if that is compatible.
And I'm Taurus for all. I'm Taurus.
I imagine Taurus is compatible with nobody.
Why would that be compatible with nobody?
That seems really aggressive. It seems like a puzzle piece that just fits nowhere.
I don't feel like I fit nowhere.
You are a puzzle piece all on your own. You are your own fully finished puzzle.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of expressing coming from me. There's going to be a lot of opinions, and there's going to be a lot of me being right, which I'm happy with.
You have a lot of opinions.
It's true.
As do I.
Yes, that's why it's great that we're here together.
Oh, look at that.
We
are here together forever until the end of time.
Thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and we'll be back next week with more Two Gay Mats, the podcast.
Bye.
Bye.